What's up, guys? Welcome back to the shop. Welcome back to the channel. As you've seen in the thumbnail, yes, we are thinking about moving BRG to Florida. Now, if you've been here more than 5 minutes, you've heard me drop that a couple times in my videos like, man, I'm tired of these winters. We just need to get on down to Florida where it's warm. And, half kidding around, that is part of the reason we want to go. But I guess let's go ahead and address it right now, because I've had no less than a dozen messages. Even some of my sponsors reach out asking what's going on. Many of you have reached out and asked what's going on. So I want to go ahead and address everything right now. So what I'm saying is, let's go ahead and answer the who, what, where, why, and when, right? So first off, let's go ahead and address the why. Why do I want to pack up from my beautiful farm here in Kentucky and move to the great state of Florida? Well, I think first things first for us is, Kathy and I, we're kind of getting up in age. I don't know if you can tell by the, the silver fox gray here, but, who doesn't want to retire in Florida, right? A lot of people do. They actually have communities there where people just go to retire, 55 plus communities, right? Obviously, we're not to that age yet, but mainly just to go down there and let's just live out the rest of our days in Florida where it's warm, down by the ocean, kind of just chillax, have a good time. Fortunately, as far as my farm goes, we've acquired quite a bit of land here, and we bought a lot of it when land was super cheap. So to be completely honest, by the time we parcel this out, sell the farm, so on and so forth, we're gonna do pretty well where we can buy a nice, beautiful home in Florida and, live off the remaining money, if that makes sense. For me personally, for Chris Mills, BRG, Florida for me is where the action is, right? That's where the tracks are at. You have, my favorite track in the world, which is BMP in the Freedom Factory. I absolutely love it there. It's my home away from home. You have Orlando, you have, Gainesville. I mean, good night of living. There is car action absolutely everywhere. And, the Burnouts are cool, but I also have cars here. I want to build me a nice drag car, right? And I want to be involved in some of the other events that, Garrett holds down there, or Cletus, as you guys may know him. Like the Demolition Drags and the Ultima Race and the Danger Ranger races and all that jazz. And I know it's kind of cool to be able to build the cars here and then haul them down to Florida and then come back. But for me, if I'm looking at it from the financial standpoint or the business standpoint, if we go to Florida 15, 20 times a year, building the cars, hauling them down there, hotels, tearing up the cars, hauling them back, rebuilding them, rinse and repeat, that's tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars just for one season, right? And I'm only able to participate in just a fraction of what's going on down there. So for me, it's kind of a win-win. We get to go down to Florida. We're away from these nasty winters up here. We're away from the cold. But on the other side of that, I get to go down there and live the track life, which is what I want to do. I want to participate in every event that I could possibly get into, whether that's burnouts, whether it's drag and drives, whether it's, going to join in any of the other races, circle track races. I mean, they're limitless, right, of what I can do down there. And it's going to benefit you, I feel, as well, is because we're going to have a mountain of content we can just put out day after day after day after day, rather than me putting out 10, 15 videos in a row of building a car, right? As many of you know, I don't have a team here. It's just you see it. The girls come down and help when I need it, but these cars are all built by me here, by myself. And it just takes time. Now, granted, I built Noisy Cricket here in about 3 months from nothing. The car was, if you remember, just a bare roller that I took in on trade here. And it's a fully functioning, running, just kick in the rear end burnout car that we're going to try out here for you people here in a few weeks. But so that's kind of the reason why. That begs, then the question of when. Well, I guess as soon as we can find a place down there that we like, right? I'm going to be super picky. I'm giving up a couple hundred acres here. So I'm going to want some acreage because I like the private life. I like to be back off the road, back by myself, where I can fool with these cars and have a good time and be with the girls, and I'm not worrying about the world, if that makes sense, right? So I think we're gonna look just east of like the Orlando area. I noticed there's some farmland there, or not necessarily farmland, but open land, right? Undeveloped land. And then I know like towards Palaca and areas like that, there's also some undeveloped land. And I'm not looking to build a house. I'm just looking to buy somebody else's home they had built. And then, either, I'll have to explain this in a minute, either have a nice shop built, or maybe they have a shop that is already there. So I guess as soon as we line all that out, and then obviously we're going to parcel out my farm and sell it, or sell it as a whole, or sell the house as one plot and then sell all the land as the other. It's hard telling, but you know what? That's the realtor's problem. They can figure that out. Now, the main question that I've been receiving the last few days is, what about the shop, right? We have plans to have a new shop built sometime in May is what we're figuring by the time all the materials are ready. So my answer to that is this. I can go ahead and have the shop built and sell it along with the farm. Or if somebody doesn't want to accrue that additional expense, which is going to be close to $250,000, it's just material, right? I can buy property in Florida and I can have the material shipped there and build my shop in Florida. It's not that I have to tear it down. No, the product is actually still being made as we speak. So if they don't want to accrue the additional expense, or the realtors don't think it's a good idea to do, with the way the market is, then I'll just take the shop with me and build it there. It's not a problem. I'm just like downtown, right? So we'll just kind of see. I'm figuring probably end of 2025, maybe mid 26. We'll just see how it pans out. And then we have all the logistics of the move, right? The cars. Good night of living. I would have to get a hold of somebody to move 40 cars, 50 cars to Florida. Now, obviously, I'm going to sell off a few because, some of these I don't have to have. But, some of my more prized cars, if you will, and then all of my competitor cars. Like, I'm not getting rid of Noisy Cricket. I'm not getting rid of Homer. I'm not getting rid of Hot Mess, Monzilla, the drag Camaros and all that. We're going to keep all of those. So they obviously have to be moved down. And that doesn't include all of our personal cars, right? So our trucks, trailers, Kathy's cars, things like that. Plus, when we moved here, and we bought everything new when we moved here, it was 2, and I'm not exaggerating, 2 tractor trailers full of just stuff. And we have acquired quite a bit since then. So yeah, it's gonna take a lot to get moved, and it's just gonna be something that Kathy and I swore we would never do again. We bought this farm, it was like, this is it, we're done. But this is gonna sound terrible, but I'm ready for track. I just want to live at the tracks. I do. Let's just put it all out there. I just want to live at the tracks. And I know Kathy loves the ocean, loves the warm weather, so it's kind of a win-win. And we can just chill out and live the rest of our lives, and just do YouTube and have a good time. I know Kathy wants to build Hot Mess as a drag and drive car. Well, hey, guess what? Tom Bailey puts on a few of those down there in the summer every year in Florida. And then for the events that we do up north here, right? I mean, we have Indy, we have New York, we have Tennessee, there's some in Pennsylvania, some way out west, which will be a push. But the majority of the events that we're at are in Florida, or just kind of like right in the central area here. And I would rather come up here 2 or 3 times a year than go to Florida 20 times a year. I think that's going to just about cover it, but that kind of gives you that, yes, we are going to be moving to Florida. When, I'm not 100% sure. There's just a lot of logistical stuff we'll have to handle. I'm figuring sometime between 2025, which we're in, or 26. Yes, we're taking all of our cars with us. No, we're not quitting YouTube. I do have an update for that for you. I'll give real quick. But yeah, this is going to be ball. I absolutely cannot wait. We're going to be down there just hanging out with all our friends, and that's going to be amazing. We actually know quite a few people in Florida now, so we're going to be able to reconnect with a few of those. Yeah, but as far as the YouTube goes, I put something out on the community page, and I actually deleted 2 of my channels, Busted Radio Outdoor and Busted Radio Shorts, which were 2 alternative channels or other channels we just forced some content on. Those have been deleted. The content's been deleted. They are gone. All that remains right now is Busted Radio Garage, and that here in the near future is going to change. The content's not going to change. Our cars are not going to change. We're just going to change the name a little bit for branding reasons, but we have to go through all the legalities first, right? We have to make sure there's nothing else out there like that. You know, we're going to go ahead and trademark and register everything like we always do. So you have the legalities of that. And then, you know, all of our stuff is going to be officially under one umbrella, if that makes sense. And then we're just going to create content, shove it out to you guys, and, you know, be in there like swimwear. But anywho, I'll go ahead and give you an update on the cars real quick, and then I'm going to skin out of here because I've got to go pick up the drive shafts for these cars here day after tomorrow. And we'll be able to get Noisy Cricket out and just run him around, which is going to be a blast. We're going to go get Shirley, bring her home. It's another channel car. Then we're going to get started on Homer 3.0. Monzilla, which is sitting on my right or your left, depending on how you're looking at this, is all but done. Maybe a day's worth of work on him, and we'll have him running. So hopefully, like I've said, since about October of last year, we'll have 3 burnout cars built over the matter of one winter with one old fat white guy. And yeah, so anyway, let's go over Noisy Cricket real quick. I'm going to let you guys get back to whatever you're doing, because I'm promising you, if you're sitting there watching this, you were bored, I can tell you that. There must have been absolutely nothing else on TV. You know, you're sitting there like whittling socks. I don't know. Anyway, let's show you Noisy Cricket right quick. Woo, that sun's a glaring. But anyway, there he is. He is all set up and ready to go. Engine is completely done. Ready to rip. Yeah, he turned out amazing. This was an absolutely fun project. I loved it, or I loved doing it, and I loved the car. Everything turned out amazing. I mean, you just can't beat it with a stick. Man, that sun glare is like, woo-wee. But he turned out great. And then the Monza's just sitting there chilling out, waiting on his turn. Got the shop kind of cleaned up. I know it's rare for that to happen, but Shirley and Homer 3.0 are both going to go right here. I actually put my Aspen up for sale, believe it or not, and I had a guy jump on it just like downtown. But of course, he had to ask his wife or somebody for the money, and they said no. So guess what? Somebody had the opportunity of a lifetime and lost it. So I'm just going to keep it. He's going to go to Florida with us. And then, of course, all of this crap has to be packed up so we can get it to Florida as well. And then we're just going to have to pick and choose what we're going to keep. But anyway, kind of like an update, or just to let you know what the deal is with Florida, right? I had a lot of people reach out, again, including some of my sponsors, like, hey, what's going on here, bud? You know what? As far as sponsors and all that go, you can go with me. You know what I mean? You don't have to move to Florida, but it doesn't mean that just because we're going, we're not going to, you know, we're not going to keep you in the loop with us, right? We can still fly up and see everybody. But anywho, you guys have a great week. I hope you have fun at work. I know that's probably not going to happen, but hey, I'm going to wish it on you anyway. And I'm going to get loaded up and get out of here. I got some errands to run, and I got to start getting ready to go get Shirley. Again, got to get our drive shafts so we can get these cars moving. And then I'm going to piddle fart around here in the shop for a little bit. But anyway, you guys know the deal. I appreciate you. I truly do. I'm happy to have you here. You know, keep your ears folded way over for any updates. We'll catch you next time. BRG out.